This is the Stubborn German Podcast, coming to you from the delightful Stubborn German Brewing Company in the mega pumpkin capital of the world right now.
Pumpkin mush.
It is.
Waterloo, Illinois, and I'm kind of blown away by this. I'm Kevin Ostie, joined as always by our esteemed proprietor of the Stubborn German Brewing Company, Mr. Chris Ron.
It's good to see you, Kevin.
It's good to be seen.
Yeah.
And our producer, Mr. Jared Chasson.
Good afternoon.
It's good to see you too, Jared.
You too, Chris. Thanks.
Our producer / in-house rock star.
Yep.
Yeah, these days.
He's got the U2 glasses on his hat. He's
right.
For sure, yeah. Look at that.
looks like Bono.
That's right.
And
It's bright out there.
Yep.
Also brings a little edge.
That's right.
It is weird though that you're wearing sunglasses
Is
inside a dark building.
I
But
didn't even notice. Yeah, they are on my hat.
Well, this is an interesting occasion for us because this is only the second time, I think, we've done a podcast during daylight hours.
yeah,
It
we
might
don't
be.
do that too often.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So there's a lot to catch up on.
And it is a lovely, bright, and sunny day out.
It is.
Perfect for Pumpkinfest.
Yep.
And that's what's shaking here in Waterloo. Is Pumpkinfest is like insane.
Yeah, it's a whole thing. We were talking earlier, and it used to just be like a band, and some kids eating pumpkin pie and go decorate a pumpkin. We lived just a couple blocks away, so we would just walk up, and I think Randy's Double R Bar had like a pumpkin beer area with 4 or 5 different pumpkin beers. So you'd try one of each of those, and just kind of hang out on the lawn, and it wasn't much. There was no vendors really.
No. That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
I remember coming up here, and it was like a quaint, fun little for kids, and you'd meet the Disney princesses, and
Now it's a
man,
thing.
Now they went and
it's
ruined it.
crazy out there. I mean, it's still neat, but it's a whole other thing now.
Well,
Yeah.
I think everyone found out about it,
Right.
Yeah.
and that's what happened. So, and it's what, like the 10th? Is this the 10th year?
I don't know,
I thought I saw that
It
it
could
was
be,
around
yeah.
the 10th year.
I
right
think
now.
so. Yeah.
So-
And it's all kinds of activities for kids and adults. There's arts,
hay
crafts,
rides.
fairs, hay rides. There's a rock climbing wall over there.
Yep.
One of my favorites is the John Deere tractors pulling the kids around in the train made from
Buckets or
bucket-
barrels. Yeah.
plastic drums.
Right.
Those are zipping all over town. I mean, there's a
cool.
lot going on.
Yeah. They had a 5K run this morning. I mean, and they don't have a beer vendor. It's not like a distributor.
Yeah.
Like the Bud Light distributor
Right.
puts up a big beer stand or anything like that. It's the local bars that are around here. They just sell to whoever. So, I mean, lucky us. And thankfully, they have it right in front of our building.
Yeah.
But we just kind of plop our jockey box, a little cooler that keeps all that we run the beer through to serve cold beer. We put that out there. We've added a few mixed drinks. We did 3 mixed drinks and 3 beers this year. Always just trying to see what the weather is like. Last year it was really hot, so we had a lot of cold drinks. This year it was kind of chilly in the morning, so we did a warm drink, and it was fun.
Nice.
I'm sure all of these Pumpkinfest goers, Pumpkinfesters?
Pumpkinfesters.
I think that's the word. They're festering.
like Uncle Fester.
Uncle Pumpkinfester.
As much fun as it is out there,
That's
what they would
fun.
love to do is participate in the German word of the day.
Oh,
yes,
yes.
they would. Oh, dang, you almost let me get away without not doing it.
Darn it, Jared.
We got pretty deep before we... All right. German word of the day is Richter.
Uh-oh. Richter.
Richter.
Yeah. How do you say pumpkin in German?
Right?
Richter.
Richter. Let's see. Richter. Okay.
Man, I didn't even think of that.
Kevin, what do you
I wonder
think
what it is.
Richter is?
I'm kind of thinking. I'm wondering what you're thinking. It is.
Yeah.
I'm kind of thinking I
let's
need more
see.
time. Is that what that means?
Richter.
All right.
Can you use it in a sentence?
Richter. Richter.
Oh. I would have said S.
Yes, well, it's that
All right.
you got to ask.
Richter. I'm going to say it is a rail drink. A rail drink.
A rail drink. Okay.
yeah.
Like some cheap vodka
yeah,
or
the
something.
cheap stuff. Give me
Like
the Richter.
The Richter.
All right.
Okay, I like it.
I did kind of like the in the spirit of a raddler.
Yeah.
It's the Richter.
Richter. Radler. Richter.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Kevin?
I'm going to say, and watch this. How I get this right. I'm going to say it's the last name of a kid that I went to Sunday school with.
That's incorrect. It is not. You're like,
No,
yes,
it
it is. No, it really is.
It is. Except he pronounced it Richter.
Richter, yeah. What was the Rangers, New York Rangers goalie, Mike Richter? Was he a goalie or was he a forward? Mike Richter.
I'm not a hockey guy.
I think he was a goalie.
You're not a hockey guy?
He's a rock star.
No,
Well, this is the last episode of this podcast, guys.
Oh, man.
I try to be. I don't know.
All right, so you're probably suggesting I should make a legitimate guess at this.
Yes.
To me, it seems like an adjective for a person, for somebody who does something.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're a Richter, what are you? You are somebody who... boy, I got so many options here.
Measures the intensity of an earthquake.
Well, that's what I was going to say, but now you ruined it.
Sorry, Kevin.
Using their own
I took
scale.
your idea.
That's
Yes.
great.
Yeah.
Using
The
his own
Richter scale.
This is my scale.
That's where that came from. It's just somebody who sifts fuzz out of dryer lint vent traps.
The guy who sifts
Somebody's
through
gotta do it.
fuzz and
Yeah,
cleans out
professionally,
the,
though.
professionally, yeah, of course.
I mean,
So
we're all a
you're
little
talking
bit richer
about
at home.
a laundry machine repairman.
Well, not a repairman, just
Oh,
somebody who
just
maintains
maintenance guy.
the fuzz cleaner.
Yeah.
Got it. All right.
All right.
I'm
That's as good a shot as
tabulating the entries. Don't forget yours because I'm not actually tabulating them.
Yes.
And we'll find out how correct you guys are at the end of this episode.
So this is about the only time of year where our man, Mr. Chris Ron here, is enthusiastic about drinking pumpkin beer.
I have one right in front of me, and I cannot wait to dive into this sucker.
Yeah.
Woo, it looks
Couldn't
great.
stop him from pouring it.
Yeah, Jared's like, we're going to drink pumpkin beer in this episode, right? I'm like, yes.
That's exactly his reaction.
That's how that went, right? I said, fine.
Well, I'm trying it right now, and it's good.
It is actually pretty good.
Thanks. I'm gonna.
Good job.
I did have I did try it once before. Nothing goes on tap without trying it.
Right.
QC
But
action there.
this is the first one.
So normally he does
outside of that.
one a year. So
This
this time we got him
well,
to do
it's still
two.
1.5, but yeah.
Yeah,
it's
I got a full pour,
No, you did. Yeah.
and
I got a
Chris and Kevin got
I got a
Mr.
sample
less than full pours.
with a bourbon, so I'm good to go. How would you characterize this, Mr. Chasson?
Well, it's definitely got that spice, the pumpkin
Yeah.
spice. There's some kind
that
of
ginger always comes through.
Yes,
It's got
okay.
the four like you can buy. McCormick sells a pumpkin pie spice. It's a blend. And it's a blend of ginger, nutmeg, cinnamon, and allspice.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure if it's equal parts or how they do it. Probably not equal, but
Sounds good in a pie.
yeah, well,
Right?
yeah, you put it right in your pumpkin pie, and there you go. Well, and I have done that in the homebrew world. I would just buy one of those and dump that in, and that's my spice mix. Here, though, I'd have to buy a ton of that, and it's probably better anyway to just pick your own seasonings or your own spices. So I've noticed that if I do it equal parts everything, the ginger is way too strong. One of the first years we did this here, the ginger was way too strong. So I've been backing off on that as we go. And now, I mean, I can definitely taste that ginger in here, and that's why I guess that's the first thing that I look for because I'm
Yeah.
like, how's the ginger?
Is it too much?
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Because ginger can be potent and it can add bitterness as well.
Yeah.
And I don't
That's
really
why
want.
everybody liked Mary Ann.
She wasn't quite as bitter as ginger.
Potent or pungent.
There's kind of a
I'll
sweet.
set them up. You knock them down.
No problem.
Is there kind of a sweetness to it? I mean, is
Yeah.
that the cinnamon maybe? And,
Yeah, and we use a yeast that doesn't ferment
Okay.
it out 100%, all the way. Like some of the lagers, you want it as dry as possible. You want to leave a little residual sweetness in this.
yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah,
I've had
it's there.
some pumpkin ales over the years that are too pumpkin-y, too
Yeah.
much.
Too
This
much
is-
that spice and
this
all that,
is
yeah.
Just right.
It can get over garbaged pretty quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it becomes gimmicky, I think. You know,
Yeah.
where people
Yeah.
are like, "I want to drink a liquid pumpkin." You know, that's what they go for.
Yeah, if someone just gave this to you at the brewery and didn't tell you it was a pumpkin ale, you would probably have to think about it for a little while before it jumped out as a pumpkin ale.
Yeah,
So
I would agree with that.
it's a good beer
it's not-
that's
blow you out of the water
Yeah.
with all this pumpkin stuff.
It's what you want. So
it's
come
good
up and
beer
get it.
with some pumpkin flavor. Yeah.
Now, how long do you think this will last at the brewery here before you're out?
Well, it'll be off tap on October 31st because
Oh,
pumpkin
okay.
beer is only allowed
All
in
right.
Waterloo to be on tap from October 1st through October 31st.
Gotcha.
That is pumpkin beer season.
Okay, clock's ticking, folks.
I know, right?
Let me get up here.
If you see the last 3 days of October and we're selling
That's
it,
right.
that means we or it's on sale. Like
It's on sale, yeah.
It's the
half price. It's gotta
Waterloo
go.
pumpkin beer purity law of 1612. At the end of the month, trick or treat, pumpkins
That's right.
out.
pumpkin. That's
Yeah,
it.
yeah, there you go.
No more.
Pumpkin
yeah.
Spice is also she got cut from the original Spice Girls.
Pumpkin Spice did.
yeah, just wasn't
It
as
was
agile. I think.
sporty and scary and pumpkin.
Spicy.
Scary and
Spicy
pumpkin
spice.
had like the same thing going, scary spice.
Yeah, they were both.
Halloween
There
theme.
you go. Yeah. Well, this is also
Anyway.
It's pretty crisp. I think it's
Yeah.
it is very different from a lot of the.
Yeah.
For those of you who haven't seen it yet, it's a little bit darker, kind of a red amber look to it.
It's a dark orange, I would call it. Yeah.
Yeah, you hold it up to the light. You can definitely see through it, but
Almost
it's
like
not
a toasted pumpkin
It,
color.
Yeah.
it looks like a old spoiled pumpkin.
Well, I wasn't going to say it. Spoiled.
Is that not how I sell that? If I'm
Yeah.
trying to get rid of 12 half barrels of it,
Yeah.
in
This
the
is what he
next 3
does
weeks,
with his pumpkins from last year.
It doesn't really.
Yes.
It doesn't really look like
save
that.
them up. No, and is something else fun about this. A lot of breweries, and really nothing wrong with this, but a lot of breweries they want to make this beer super early. They want to have it out in late August, early September, whatever. That's all fine. I understand the need to market it and sell it that way, but to do that, there's no fresh pumpkins, available growing around here at that time. So they will buy canned pumpkin. Some of them might process it from there. Some might just dump that right into the to the boil or even the mash. That's all fine. I'm not poo-pooing on anybody that makes a beer that way. But what I'd like to do, and it really fits with my theme of we don't start until October 1st, because if we wait that long, I can get real, fresh pumpkins from,
right.
a local farmer, which we do. And, we chop them up. Tammy and Jeremy and I are in here. We're on that first, if that first table over there is still sticky, it's because we didn't clean it up enough from all the pumpkins that we were cutting up. But, we chop them up into little, 4 or 5 inch chunk, pieces. And we sprinkle dark brown sugar, we drizzle honey and real maple syrup all over them, put them in 5-gallon buckets, and we take them.
It sounds like right there they should just go right on the grill.
Can you just serve that?
right?
Yeah.
Kind of, so then they go to Pie Hard, and half go to Pie Hard, half go to Shorty's, and they have ovens big enough to cook those, roast them for us. So when they're roasted to where they're as tender that you can kind of mash them up with a fork.
That's actually what happens?
Yeah, cook them. Yeah.
Wow.
With all that sugar and
Oh, man, I knew
it's,
that.
So what they
legit.
bring back, the cooked pumpkin, is it smells great. It actually does smell great. And there's no cinnamon, no spices in there whatsoever at that point. And we put that in bags right into the boil kettle, right into the beer, and a boiling liquid will extract those flavors out. So now all that pumpkin flavor and sugar is in the beer. And then we add the spices after that. So
It's a multi-step.
it's a very nice smelling brew day for sure.
Yeah. How many pumpkins did you guys use?
40.
40.
Wow.
Good sized ones. So is there a different
medium-ish.
flavor of?
Yeah, medium is kind of. Smaller the better, honestly. But we do medium to small. Yeah, the great big ones supposedly don't taste as good or whatever. I don't know. I've never really done that much experimenting with big or small pumpkins, but.
Are you? Were you guys big pumpkin carvers in the family? With the kids and the whole thing.
Well, yeah, actually, yeah.
So several years ago, we started painting pumpkins instead of carving, because we would carve, and of course the kids and my wife would want to start too early in the month,
and then
you put it out, and it just rots on your front porch.
Yep.
And by the time Halloween comes, you got this shriveled up, gross pumpkin, which is what Chris puts in his beer.
Yeah,
But that's scary though. That's Halloween. That's what you want.
Well, you're right.
Spooky.
At some point, we started painting the faces on, and then you can get a little more creative. And
when the
Get a couple extra weeks out of them.
yeah,
giving young kids big long blades is also
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
now they got those crazy knives that won't cut anything but a pumpkin. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah,
they're like,
I do, yeah.
They're ridged, but it's like little round ridges that
Right.
cut like butter through a pumpkin, but like you could saw all day on your hand and it won't cut you.
That's fun.
That's
safety.
interesting.
What do
Safety
they think
first.
of next?
Well,
Kids
just
are so
That's right.
sheltered.
I know. I still
Remember
have
when
scars.
pumpkin carving was dangerous?
Yeah.
And then you scoop out all the stuff, and then you
Yeah.
toast the seeds, salt them up real good. Yeah, that was good times. Just last night, as a matter of fact, in my other world, our shop had our fall party,
Nice.
and we went to a little farm pumpkin patch in Red Bud, Illinois.
Oh, cool.
And
The one on the hill over there?
Yeah.
Over by there?
yeah, with the old pickup truck out in front.
Yep. That's where we always go there, yeah.
And the name of it is officially
Blossom Hill.
Yeah.
Pumpkins? Blossom Hill?
Yes,
Blossom Hill,
it
though,
is
right?
Blossom Hill.
Yeah.
Right, correct.
The
Yeah.
guy there is the nicest old guy that, I mean, he's not old, but, you know, what a nice guy. And, that's the kind of place where you bring, you know, a cart full of pumpkins up there and they just kind of look and go, let's call it $15, whatever.
Right, yeah, because we've got a whole extensive pumpkin patch. You can go pick your
pick your
pumpkins.
own.
And we kind of rented a one of the back building barns, if you
Oh,
will,
cool.
set up tables and
Nice.
And we had Trevor Stellhorn, who's a local caterer, Slam Catering in
I've
Red
heard of
Bud.
him. Yep.
He made a couple different kinds of soups.
Sweet.
And sandwiches, and it was
Nice.
crisp,
Did a
crisp
fall
outside.
thing.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
I had nothing to do with the planning, but I participated for sure.
Sounds
It was
fun, yeah.
enjoyable, and we painted pumpkins.
Cool. There you go.
You need to get a part-time job there so I can go to this.
Yeah.
I'll give you a form right now.
Hiring.
Careful what you wish for.
Yeah, we're not going to be touching pumpkins again until next year, so you might want to time that out.
Yeah, maybe September I'll hit you up.
Yeah.
Seasonal work.
Yes.
And they've got a whole playground area and stuff, you know, for the smaller kids.
Did you guys use that?
Kelly did.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, they have a mechanical bull, an electric one.
Of
She
course, yeah.
It's a slow motion thing, but she was on it.
That's awesome.
And then somebody brought a big, you know, what we used to call a winger, you know, the big slingshot,
Oh, okay.
and we were launching pumpkins off into
Oh,
the field.
wow.
Nice.
That would have been fun.
It was kind of fun.
Did they have they have some kind of an apparatus that I guess they use compressed air and
Yes.
shoot them off?
It's like a big pumpkin air cannon.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did they mess with that at all?
They did. They launched one off that too.
That's so cool. It
was
so fun. Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Have you been there, Jared?
No.
You need to go.
That sounds
Well,
great.
You got a youngin'.
Yeah,
You
what the
need to-
heck?
Yeah, what are you waiting for?
I don't know.
Oh, he'd love this.
This is the time of
he
year.
would really
That
love
That sounds
this.
fun. Man, V8 Speed and Resto knows how to party.
Yeah. Right?
Absolutely. Well, we'll thank Lisa Woods in our marketing department who set that whole thing up, and
Yeah.
she knows how to throw parties.
That's cool. Good for her.
Yeah, so that was fun,
It sounds fun.
and I painted up a pumpkin.
Nice.
Did you? What was your theme? What did you go with?
You get pinstripes, right? Or pinstripes.
Good guess. I mean, my theme was actually, now that I look back on it, kind of Evil Knievel.
Oh, okay.
It was red, white, and blue with stars on it.
Yeah.
And,
Sweet.
All right.
the whole thing, kind of Americana.
Very
Nice.
patriotic.
Yes.
Patriotic
Nice.
pumpkin, then you slinged it off into outer space.
I actually took that one home.
Okay. All
It's
right.
it's
that's
going
cool.
to be the extent of my Halloween decorating.
There
most
it is.
likely.
There's the pumpkin.
Yeah, there it is.
Do you guys have pumpkins on your porch yet, Chris?
We have one.
One.
from the pumpkin beer, actually.
Oh, okay.
That
All
we salvaged.
Yep.
The leftover.
It just looked really hard. You know, after you cut up 40 of them, you kind of know which ones are going to be a pain in the butt to cut and which one just slices through like butter. This one did not look very friendly. We're just like, you know what? We have enough. 39 is enough for this
Yeah.
year. So if the pumpkin's a little light this year, it's on my front porch.
That's it. Yeah, you can go find it over at Chris's house if you want to add one to the stock. But I have one other kind of pumpkin tangent story. And last weekend, I was working an event in Pomona, California. And this event, I was working the stage, and we had a lot of giveaways for the crowd. And giveaways are a lot of fun, but it tends to bring out those people that are just there for the giveaways,
yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And they're the one, there are those individuals who come up and they don't even say hi or make eye contact. They just put their hands out. They just want the free stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, everybody likes those people.
Not what that's for, but yeah.
Right. And at one point, this little girl comes up, and she's probably 7 years old, and she's got a trick-or-treating plastic pumpkin. And she walks up to the stage, and I walk over to the edge, and I look down, and I said, hi. And she just pushes this pumpkin out at me. Doesn't say a word, and I'm like, really? You know, you want something? So I said, all right, give me a minute. Let me see if I got something. So I look around. I got some stickers and some
Yeah.
things, and I come back and I kind of shove them in her pumpkin. And she goes, no, I'm asking if you want some candy.
Oh,
And I'm
my
like, oh, you're
gosh.
kidding me. Oh, man.
What a kid.
Oh, it was incredible.
You're thinking,
Wow.
oh, this kid's a jerk. I
Yeah,
gotta go
right.
find a sticker or something.
I thought
Yeah.
you were going to kick
Just
the
trying to
pumpkin out of her hand.
Just trying to share some Tootsie Rolls.
Exactly. Just
Yeah.
trying to make you happy,
Gosh.
pal.
Nice.
And,
did you take some? Did you accept
You
some
better
candy?
have.
Yeah, I didn't even know what it was. I
grab something.
couldn't see through my tears. I was just going through. I
That is
finally
really
stopped
sweet.
crying about Wednesday, but it was a pretty special moment there.
Yeah.
Restored my faith in humanity, at least for that
Nice.
little girl.
Good.
People are okay.
That one is for sure.
That's
Good.
great. That's funny.
So the other thing was, however, we need the update, the recap
Yeah.
on Stubbornfest. for crying out
Pumpkinfest.
loud.
Yeah, we did that. That was a thing. That was by far. I'll go ahead and say by far our biggest crowd.
Awesome.
And the by far the nicest weather. There was not a hint of rain, not a threat of rain in the forecast. And that's really what other years. There's at least been a threat of rain, which kind of slows things down. Or if not, full on just rain showers.
Yeah.
Like last year, we had rain all morning, Saturday morning, and it kind of let up. Turned out to be a nice day, but yeah, this was beautiful the entire time. The crowds were great. We had long lines. Not a single person complained. One guy complained. I was gonna have one, but
Jared.
Sorry,
Jared complained. He's like, "Do you know who I am?
It was a long day.
I'm on the Stubborn German
Have you
podcast.
heard the podcast?
I need a beer."
I'm Edge McBono
That was
on
me.
the podcast.
That's right. I kind of had my
Get out of my way.
Stubbornfest beer.
That's the last time he wears these sunglasses.
Telling you, it's still bright out, folks.
He probably forgot he even had him on top of his hat.
Probably
there.
so. Gosh,
I
that's
did.
funny.
He's like, "What are you guys talking about?"
What sunglasses? Oh yeah,
So a lot of
yeah.
gear
It
on your
was.
head.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
You had a big crowd.
Yep.
The bands sounded great.
Yep. Yeah, the bands were awesome. Yeah, it was such a fun time. I mean, it was that.
It was.
That's why we do that. I don't know. The more years we go as we do this, we don't dread it, but there is that period where you're just like, oh, this is gonna be a lot of work, and
Yeah.
so you kind of have to like build yourself up to like go do all that work and get it ready and just do it. You just got to man up and do it, and so yeah, you do it, and when it all goes this nice and the people are great, the bands are great, and it's just a blast and so much fun. I mean, don't get me wrong, we were dead tired at the end,
yeah.
but it was so worth it. It's always worth it. It's so fun. I can't tell you how many people came up and just like thanked us for having the party, which is kind of hilarious
Yeah.
to me because I'm like, well, you're the one paying for it. Like we wouldn't have it if it didn't make sense financially. But
Well, I'll tell you what I noticed, and I told you this afterwards, Chris, but, anytime you come to one of these downtown Waterloo festivals,
Yeah.
whether it's Homecoming or Porto Westfalica or Pumpkinfest or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
everybody's got a Bud Light or a Busch Light or whatever in their hand, right?
Uh-huh. Yep.
And for this, it was just as big a crowd, and every single person is drinking
Had our beer.
Stubborn German beer.
Yes.
And it was like, it's different to see that.
Oh,
You
yeah.
expect these blue bottles or whatever,
Right.
And
Well, there's a part of me that gets a nice little giggle out of that.
yeah,
It's just like,
well,
look at that.
It
it's
is.
so
It's
cool.
great to see that many people
Yeah.
enjoying what started out as you just serving beer to your
Right.
friends in your house.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And these are your people too. I mean,
Yeah.
for
they come
sure.
here for a reason.
That'll
Yeah.
never be lost on me. I'll never ever feel whatever too big to enjoy
Yeah.
that moment because it's always like, yeah, you kind of take a step back and look at that and see the lines. Like we had 3 bars outside and 1 inside, had a line 20 people deep at one point in every single one. And to just like look at that and be like, holy cow, these
Yeah.
people are, I mean, they don't mind spending 15 minutes in a line if they have to get one of my beers. Like,
That's all for you, pal.
it's so cool. It's the I get over after I get over all the muscle aches and the chiropractor appointments from moving 1,000 kegs. Then my head is swollen up 3 times as normal and
like a giant pumpkin.
like a giant pumpkin. And eventually something will break around here, and I'll get knocked back down to earth. But
why am I doing this?
yeah, I'm still riding that high. Well,
that's good. You should ride that as long as you possibly can.
Yeah,
because,
why not?
You know, I think we all know that routine. Even if you don't find yourself putting on giant, public events, there are things that have a lot of work associated with them, and I think we tend to put the focus on the work.
Right.
And the challenge there is to put the focus on how it's going to feel right in the dead center of that whole event.
Yeah.
To get past all the work and go, but try to project yourself into that moment, because that's when it all gels and really...
And that's when you'll start thinking like, oh, man, I wish I would have done this one extra little thing.
If I would have worked a little harder.
Yeah, if I would have just, we said we're going to scrap that. It's not worth it this year. It was too much work. That's when you wish that you would have done that.
You are so right. Yeah. So it's always, the goal of mine is to, again, zip forward into the future, into that moment, and then turn around and look back and go, okay, what did I slack on so that I can bring everything?
Yeah, exactly.
And be there. And then when you're, the good thing about your event is it's a party. It's not like you had to prepare for drilling a giant sewer or something.
Right?
So there's a quick payoff of all that work.
Yeah.
Happy people and music and great beer and everybody having a good time.
Yeah.
So that's really cool.
Right. As soon as 3 o'clock Friday hits, it's all fun.
Yeah, right on.
Yeah. It was great. And if we're going to talk about Severnfest, I have to at least throw my staff. I have to at least throw my staff a bone as far as everything that they did. I mean, it was crazy to see how above and beyond our staff went. Some bartenders worked well beyond their scheduled shift. Yeah. I mean, they were, I'm going to leave, but what do you need done first? And they'd stay another hour, taking trash out or whatever.
You said, you had multiple lines. You had 2 different tents out there, and then the line at the
one here
right outside front.
Out front, and then off inside. The bar, and then inside was open too.
And all of them had constant lines.
At one point, Saturday, I think afternoon was probably the busiest, between probably 3 and, say, 5 or 6 o'clock. That was the busiest point, right when we podcasted last year. If I would have been podcasting at that point,
done.
I would not have been on that episode.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was nuts. There was a couple of moments where I was like in the basement, and I couldn't get kegs out fast enough and couldn't get ice fast enough.
Wow.
We were going to buy ice. I thought I had enough ice for 3 Stubborn Fests, and we didn't have enough for half of one. Yeah, it was. There was a few moments where it's just like, I can't be in 10 places at once that I need to be.
A little panicky,
a little freak out moment. But yeah. You go in the walk-in where it's nice and cool.
Yeah,
hang out there for about a minute and a half, and then it's like, okay, this is going to be okay.
That's a good strategy. Go chill out.
Yes.
Literally for a little while.
Yeah.
I don't know where Chris is.
Oh, yeah. If it's hitting the fan and I'm not around, you can find me in the walk-in panicking.
And it's 2 days of that. This isn't one day that you kind of power through. This is 2 days of
as if the first day's not enough, then you get to, but you have to go do it again.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's a blast.
Now I missed the first day. We had prior obligations, so we were here Saturday evening.
Yeah.
And so I saw, Chris and Tammy at the end of their
the very end of it all,
brutal, and they were
we looked
still
like zombies.
No, I mean, you guys,
like
you did look tired, but you were powering through. You had smiles on your faces, and you made it good for everybody. So it was fun.
We tried.
It is energizing at the same time.
And if there wasn't that adrenaline, I would have had nothing left. I mean,
and Steve Ewing gets everybody going at the end.
He does.
So, yeah.
He's I don't know how old he is, but I mean he does those songs that he's done a million times. He sang them the day before. He's going to sing them the next day. Same songs, and he sings them like he's just so happy
with
to be there.
With all the energy of the first time he played it. Yep.
And I thought about him. In fact, him specifically. Like I said, writing those songs such a long time ago in the early '90s. I think some of those songs are that old. Yeah. He's been singing those that long. Still loves doing it, and he's got Steve's Hot Dogs in St. Louis. So he's got his restaurant. Like, I don't know how much money there is to be made selling hot dogs or not, but I mean, I can't feel like you're getting rich selling hot dogs. Maybe you are. I don't know. But anyway, that's not really the point. The point is. I think he's just a people pleaser. He just loves to see people happy because of something that he did. And then I kind of felt like I related with him the same way. It's like, I know this is way too much work for what we're doing for Stubbornfest, you know?
Yeah.
But to see people having such a great time, it's like, that's totally worth it. And that's where that adrenaline comes from, and you just kind of keep going, so...
Well, along those lines of a people pleaser, he was. They played some of their big hits.
The
earlier
hits,
in the set. They played like 4 hours or something.
Yeah,
and at the end of the night, you got different people there than you did earlier, and they're demanding to hear that song. So he played them again.
A couple more,
and it didn't come across as like, oh gosh, he played this earlier. It was like, no, this is maybe better now than it was earlier.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Well, you go to a concert, like it's all this build up. I've had these concert tickets for whatever band you're into for 3 months, and I can't wait to go see them. And then they play the one song that you love for 2.5 minutes, and then that's it. And you got to wait till next year, and they come back. So it's awesome if they play it again.
Can you play it again?
Yeah. Just keep playing my favorite song over and over.
Maybe you can talk to him about expanding his line, and he might have a worst cart out here as well next year.
There you go.
Actually, that's a great idea.
First cart,
Could we have Steve's Hot Dogs at Stubbornfest? Why not?
I don't know why not. I mean,
you know how many hot dogs he would sell if he had his own?
He'd sell a lot of.
I mean, you're on the mission to be his best friend. I mean, that would really kind of push him over the edge. I think he might finally go.
So
you're pretty cool.
We did that when the first time we had him in here. He played inside. It was like right underneath the TV back there.
I remember that.
It was a great show.
Yeah, and we had him. He catered it, so he first.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he sets up his meat. Or first he sets up all the food, and then and I think I don't know what we did. Like I don't know if he was just selling. He had a couple people there, like selling while he was singing, because obviously, he's like, hold on, in between songs, I gotta go.
That's
make some
he's just handing out the.
By far the most crowded I've ever seen it in here.
Yeah,
right.
Oh, that was insane.
Shoulder, maybe the head shaving fundraiser.
Oh, that was a good one too. Yeah,
that was like both of those were just literally shoulder to shoulder, wall to wall.
Yeah,
it was cool.
We've stuffed some people in here before.
Yeah, I'm not saying you didn't. Break the fire code or whatever. But
no.
Fire code.
The only time they ever got in trouble was with the goat.
The goat, yes. The goat.
Just keep the goats out. I don't care how many people you put in here. just
no goats.
Keep the goats out.
So, of course, there was a lot of people that have been to Stubbornfest many, many times, but did you see some new faces, some new people? Obviously, it was the biggest one, you think?
Yeah, well, we saw tons of people that said they heard about it and they can't miss it, so here we are, and traveled from... I don't know how far away.
7 blocks.
7 blocks away. They heard the music. They're like, hey, let's walk up.
Right. Hey, Steve Ewing. Right on.
Do I hear the urge? Yeah.
Well, you can see how, even Pumpkinfest, this is by far the biggest crowd I've seen at a Pumpkinfest before.
I would guess so, yeah.
I think Waterloo events just in general are growing.
Yeah.
And a big part of that is the downtown scene. Mm-hmm. And I know many people who attribute one thing to that, and that is Stubborn German Brewery, to the revitalization of downtown Waterloo.
I mean, we didn't do anything.
Basically.
No, stop it.
You guys are a big part of that.
Definitely a big part of it. Yeah, for
Great.
sure.
It's good to be part of it.
Stubbornfest will keep growing, I think.
Yeah. I think so, too.
Yeah.
Especially if you get Steve's Hot Dogs. Chris
we were talking. We're like, that was probably too big. that was bigger than we needed it.
How about some of your partners that are also, like
the food? So we had Pie Hard, Shorties, and Schneider's, and then Feathers Farm. Keith was selling popcorn, and so there was plenty of food. That was the most food we've had, which thank God, because we had the biggest crowds,
and they were selling out. It's not like you had too many vendors.
They all sold out eventually. Shorty's had food though up until I think 8 or 9 o'clock on Saturday. Like there was food available the whole time, so I was really really happy and proud of them. We don't put any kind of restrictions on, or we just say come and sell food. I don't care what you sell or what you sell, how much you sell for. Just come and have food.
What a great neighbor,
right?
If a neighbor business says, I'm throwing this giant party, why don't you just come and sell your stuff?
Come and sell some food. Yeah.
Don't worry, you'll sell out.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and the goal is to keep people there and not have to leave to go get some food.
Well, and you guys aren't short-sighted. You understand that.
Yeah. Well, when we go to a place, it's like, well, if there's no food, now we have to leave to go get food.
Right.
And the chances of you coming back.
I'm not missing a meal. Have you seen me? That's not happening.
Let's try a new pumpkin diet this month.
We might just eat
1 month only.
All pumpkin pie.
Yeah.
Well, so what's new with you guys? Enough about me. What's We haven't done the podcast in just a minute, so
It's been a while. It's been a minute.
it's been a minute. But yeah, what's new?
Well, Jared's on a world tour.
Yeah,
That's right. Yeah. So I played here a couple weeks ago, I guess.
3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
3.
And 2
Yeah.
weeks ago, something like that.
Yeah.
It was a good time. We had a good crowd. Lots of friends and family were here. Some new fans, so that was cool. Played some new songs.
Good.
And I think Chris and Tammy were here. I think you guys did okay, and Tammy's already invited us back. So
Oh, we did just fine. I'm just hoping hoping you sold some CDs and some merch, some merch, T-shirts. And
I'm hearing the line from the Blues Brothers. So $200, and you boys drank $300 worth of beer. So
that is one thing I try not to do, and because
Yeah.
there's that
I
stereotype
offered
of
him
like he
beer.
does.
interesting, yeah.
Well, so for me, it's the singing part. So alcohol can dry out your vocal cords, right?
enhance is what
I didn't
like
know
to
that.
say.
And I have noticed when I just at home, if I'm like drinking while practicing or something, like it definitely affects my ability to sing certain songs.
Sounds
So
like
I
I
just
sing better whenever I'm drunk.
yeah.
Sound
I mean,
better anyway, yeah.
to you at least, it sounds better.
No one else.
Yeah, so I do the whole. I'm drinking water the whole night, and then it's like, okay, as soon as this is
As soon
over,
as it's
I'm
over,
hitting the bar.
Watch
Yeah,
out. You better
right,
line up some
exactly.
shots or something.
Yeah, and Scott, he's kind of the same way. We try to take it easy until at least halfway through the set. But I would love to be drinking beer the whole time. I just think it's probably best if I don't.
You know what else is brutal is iced tea.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't noticed that.
Oh, yeah. Well, so here's the thing. In our culture in the United States, we like everything cold.
Yes.
Yes.
Ice cold
Of course.
water, cold beer, the whole thing.
Yes. Well, as it should be.
Well, you would think, but in Asian cultures, everything's warm. Not everything, but they drink tea and warm stuff all the time. And there's something to be said that so when you're doing the dishes, you don't use cold water to break up grease.
That's true.
You use warm water or
right.
hot, right?
Yeah.
So
With soap.
With soap, but they say that by drinking warm fluids, things go through your body easier.
Yeah.
Your digestive system doesn't have to work as hard.
Got it.
But along those lines, tea is a major dehydration element, and it'll smoke your vocal cords. So
Yeah,
stay
I
away
will
from
avoid the
that.
tea before sets.
Yeah.
I don't want any beer. I'll dry out my vocal cords. Give me all tea.
right.
Nothing but sweet tea.
Nothing but tea.
Yeah, right.
Now, I'll plug this next. I don't mean it to be a plug, but
Do it.
so we are
Plug
playing
away.
in a couple weeks at Willie's here in town, Willie's West End.
Yeah.
It'll be outdoors, which will be
That'll
the
be
first time
fun.
I've done
You get
that
to crank
in
it.
this kind of setting. I don't really even know what to expect. Can we crank it? Do we
Yes.
have to turn
Yeah,
it down because the
absolutely.
neighbors are going to complain?
No, they're not
You-
complaining.
as
I
soon
don't
as-
know.
You don't do anything until somebody complains.
Yeah, we don't turn it up too loud in here because Tammy complains.
We'll see what happens. You don't want to make it too loud.
No,
Somebody complains,
she
and you got to
doesn't
honor
complain.
that concern.
But yeah, so that'll be different. I mean, I've played outdoors in like a full rock band setting before, but not like this acoustic kind of
Sure.
thing. So I don't know. We'll see how that goes.
Busch
but that'll be
Stadium.
fun.
Yeah.
End of October. It could
When
be
you-
raining on us for all I know.
This is true.
You were a perfect volume, though,
Were
in
we?
here. Yeah, it
All
was.
right.
Because what I noticed, like we were kind of midway in the
Yeah.
back, and it was just loud enough to definitely hear everything you're doing, but still quiet enough where
But
you
you
could
can- yeah.
talk with other people, no problem at all.
And that's-
then as I walked forward, if you come up here, then it's loud, and
Yeah.
you're not talking, you're listening to the band.
Right.
But I think that's perfect in a room like this because you can do what you want. If you want to get
Yeah.
away from the music, you can. If you
Yep.
want to be right there and be into the music, you can do that too.
And that's kind of the goal. You never really know when you're setting up like that. And, if you've been in the brewery, and of course you have,
Of course.
there's this long table right here in front of the bar, right in front of the brew area.
Yeah, we call it the long table.
The long table.
Yes.
So, and that's like the hardcore fans, right? So they're
Yeah.
sitting up right there, and they want to hear every
That's VIP
note
area.
that you're playing.
Yep.
And they are, like you said, the speakers are in their face.
Yeah.
And so you better be ready for it. But yeah, you can go to the back, and still hear it, but have a conversation,
Yeah.
enjoy your beer.
Yep.
Maybe shorties or pie hard that you brought
That's
over.
what we
You wanna eat
did.
that.
Yeah. When you started playing
So-
Beach Boys or whatever, we're just like, well, we'll start
Yeah,
talking.
you tune that out, the Beach Boys. But yeah, so I'm glad it wasn't too loud for you.
What did you
It was
play?
perfect.
Beach Boys? Did you really?
We did not play Beach Boys.
That was a joke.
I was gonna
it was
say,
a bad
man.
joke. Kevin's like, I'm sorry, you played
It's
Beach
like
Boys?
which-
You need to throw God only knows in your set.
We had some Springsteen
Like now.
in there. What else do we have? I mean, we had, we do it all.
You had all the hits.
We really try to be as eclectic as we can, and we try to do every decade, every genre, a little bit of something for everybody.
Yeah.
I heard the Beethoven one over huge.
Beethoven was the biggest hit of the night. Yeah.
Did you play Beethoven?
Something for everyone, man.
We did that.
So now that you've been doing a handful of gigs and you're playing out more. Back several episodes ago, you were on the nervous side about kind of getting back into this and playing over at the wine bar.
That's
right. Correct.
And how does it feel now?
It feels better. I've got a little more confidence now. At first it was, can I even do this? 3 hours of music, singing? Are my hands going to hold up? Is my vocal cords going to hold up?
Well, or your hands.
Or my hands.
Yeah.
I know now that we can do it. But I still, I personally put a lot of pressure on myself, probably too much, to everything's got to be right. Everything's got to be perfect. And, it's not going to be.
2 words for you.
Sunday, Bloody Sunday.
Bob Dylan.
Yeah, I know. And also, you're singing to people who hopefully have been drinking a lot of beer. So, they won't probably notice if you make a mistake. But
no, I didn't notice any of them.
It was perfect, Chris. Come on.
There were none.
Any of them.
That's why.
Nice, give him the credit there.
But, so the nerves are a little better. I feel like, in fact, we just practiced last night, and the practice it got pushed back a little bit, and we didn't get to work on as much stuff, and we only did a couple songs. But we were both like, you know what? If we had to play right now, I feel like it would probably go okay. We don't have to do, we still will practice a lot before every gig.
We don't need to
but,
practice.
we're not as nervous. So that's good, and I appreciate you asking about it.
That's cool.
It was a concern, and,
You think Bono practices?
We're there. Bono doesn't practice.
No.
Why would I practice?
He's Bono.
If Bono doesn't practice.
Neil Peart practiced before. He
Yeah.
practiced every day
Every day. Well,
as the world's best drummer.
I think if you're going to be the world's best drummer, you probably do need to practice every day.
His mentality
Even
was
Neil.
he thought if he didn't, he wouldn't be.
Then he wouldn't be
anymore.
the- yeah.
So I mean, I get there was a.
We do consider ourselves the Neil Peart of acoustic duos.
I'm sure. Yeah.
So we gotta
Well, so do I.
put in the work. Yeah, thanks. But we appreciate the chance to play here, and it's always fun. And I think our friends and family and fans
Anytime.
like coming here. So.
Go grab your guitar. Let's go.
Let's do it.
That's it, man.
We'll be back.
Do you know any Pumpkin songs?
If you ever need a drummer to sit on a box,
I'm telling you, we need to do that. We need to just make it.
I
where
got a lot of
Chris
buckets.
can sit
Yeah,
in with
5-gallon
us.
buckets.
Yeah, let's do it.
It'd be like the dude on the 501 Blues commercial. Remember
right.
that?
No.
Oh, yeah. Now I'm showing my age. So in the 80s, maybe early 90s, probably late 80s.
Okay. Like after Night Court or something?
Yeah. Richard Mall, and it was a good show.
Okay.
Marky Post. The Levi Strauss had a commercial for their 501 Blues jeans. Remember those, the button flies?
I do remember.
Yeah, and
Button ear fly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they had one of the commercials was a kid on a corner playing the bucket drums and
Okay.
singing a cappella like doo-wop stuff.
Yeah.
YouTube it.
Maybe I do remember that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I remember the song.
You
but
know,
I'm
one
not
of
using it.
the worst things that can happen to you is when you're at an establishment like Stubborn German, or maybe you're at a concert venue, and you've had many drinks, and it's time to hit the can, and there's
Yes.
probably even a line,
Yeah,
and then by the time you get in there, you realize you're wearing button flies, and you got to go. And now you got
the
5
dexterity.
buttons to go through before you can start this
Your
thing.
hands are all...
They didn't think that through when they started advertising the button fly jeans.
Do they even sell those anymore?
No,
I
Probably
don't
for
know.
that
Not big
reason.
for
It's for that
drinkers.
very reason.
Yeah.
As the craft beer scene took
Yeah.
off, the button flies
button
just
flies went
dropped.
away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think somebody went, what the hell am I doing this for?
They make a zipper, right?
You could zip
It works up and down,
quickly.
for sure.
They were cool at the time, though. I remember.
The best.
Yeah, you were definitely cool if you had button flies.
I never had any of those.
I
Chris
never
never
had
had
any.
any.
No, I never had any. I
had
just dug the
zippers.
commercial.
Yeah.
Yeah, fun commercial.
Yeah.
What's coming up for you, Kevin? I believe off the air you told me that October is your busiest time of year.
I think it is. So I made a calendar. I use like a Google calendar, and I highlighted the weekends that I'm home. Okay. And October, there's like 2 days out of.
There's like only a couple highlights.
There's only a few, yeah.
Man.
Which is great, but it's very busy. And for me, I work for like everybody this month. So last weekend and next weekend, I was doing some off-road truck events for one company, and then at the end of the month, I do the SEMA show thing again, and I work for them. And it's funny, it just dawned on me this past weekend. I was in Pomona, California, doing this off-road expo, and the event crew that puts on this event, it's very similar to like what you were talking about at Stubbornfest. There's this huge build-up and all the details,
sure,
and all the stuff. And you and I are kind of in the same boat here, because at the end of this off-road event, all of the event team in that company is like, oh, yeah, now I can just kick back and relax, and we got like 3 weeks till the next one. But I have a job, right? So the next day I'm back in the office at my real job at our
right.
shop, and doing our thing. So, and you got to come back to work here at the brewery,
Oh, yeah.
So
yeah, the show has to go on.
For sure. And it's kind of funny because like the other team, and it's fun because that's a great team, and the people I work with at SEMA are a great team, and our own shop is a great team. And, I'm very fortunate to be able to work with a lot of, great teams.
Yeah.
But it ends up being like every day for months, because when I'm not doing those, I'm doing our own stuff. And the flip side is I love what I do, so it's great, but you kind of get tired, you just kind of get worn out.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, next weekend I'll be in Phoenix for another one of those events. I'm going to see my mom, which will be cool.
Cool.
And then shortly thereafter that is the SEMA show in Vegas, and then home for.
And that's in October?
That's first week in November.
First week in November.
Going out on the 29th, I think, of October.
Nice.
And then right after that, instead of coming home, Kelly and I are taking a few days off.
Wow, nice.
And we rented a cabin in Colorado.
Oh, cool.
So
sweet.
We're just flying from Vegas to Colorado, and we'll be
Nice.
staying in Frisco for 4 days.
Frisco.
And just doing nothing.
Really?
Yeah.
There's a brewery there you need to go to.
What's it called?
Outer Range.
Outer Range.
I went to a brewing school with the head brewer there, Lee Cleghorn.
Lee Cleghorn, of course.
Yep.
You got to
Good guy.
drop Chris's name when you go. You guys,
Do it.
you remember Chris,
Is
right?
he-
Just need to bring some
is he
beer
still
back.
your buddy,
There's
or-
a couple guys. There's one for sure that comes in, and he's like, I guess they always get a cabin there as well. It might be the same cabin you got. And he's like, you want me to bring trade any beer or anything? And I guess they drive out, so they just I bring beer out there, and he sends beer back.
Nice. Should I order one?
Yeah.
Or stubborn?
Yeah, he might have some.
Yeah. Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
And that's probably called the Outer Range. The Rockies, they're known as the Front Range when you get over it.
Oh, okay.
You get a little bit further away from the peaks.
So it's not just a clever name.
No, it is a clever name,
Well, it is
but
a clever
not
name.
just a clever name.
Got it.
So yeah, I'm looking
That's
forward
awesome.
to.
That sounds great.
Yeah,
Just going to chill out and.
That's it, man.
Yeah.
The requirements that I
Good
had. So Kelly and I never take vacations, and certainly don't plan them. We try to capture a half day somewhere or something. But I'm like, you know what I want to do? I mean, I don't want to do anything, first of all. But I'm envisioning, timbers and log cabiny stuff and a fire and some coffee. And I really want a hot tub outside. Right?
Yes.
Which
Yeah,
is
yeah.
basically a ski lodge,
Right.
And she's like, where do you want to do this? And I'm like, let's go to Colorado. She was just out there. She loves it there. So
Perfect.
So she found the place, and we're all dialed in. So
That's awesome.
Nice. That sounds awesome.
yes, and I'm really looking forward to it. And it's funny. Again, identify with what you're saying before. These events that I've got coming up are so much work,
Yeah.
and not like
Prep work, legwork, yeah.
not like the work that you do putting the whole event on
Sure,
for Stubbornfest. But for me, they are. I got to do a lot. Those, especially the SEMA week. I got to work the entire week, and it's great. But do you have nightmares before the
Kind of.
event?
Yeah.
I had a great one yesterday.
I'm sure you're like me. You don't ever want to come off as ungrateful or complaining about the amount, because I consider myself incredibly lucky to
Yes.
be in the situation that I am, and I'm sure you're the same way. But yeah, I mean, I'm at the risk of sounding like a complainer. I'm going to start complaining. It's a lot of freaking work.
I don't think that's a
Yeah.
complaint, though. I mean, I
It's
think
not. I mean, it's
you
just
do the
stating
work
that-
to do a good job.
Yeah.
You got to earn
Yeah.
that payoff, and,
Yeah.
and that's. I got no problem with doing the work. It's
Sure.
just
Yeah.
it's work, and there are those who don't think that certain things take a lot of work, oh, how hard is it to play the guitar, and sing? Well, you know what? It's pretty hard.
Yeah. There's a lot of practice that goes
I had
in.
to practice a long time.
Yeah, exactly. And in Vegas for the SEMA show, oh, how hard is it to sit there and talk to people all week long? Well, if you don't want to sound like a complete idiot, it takes a little effort.
If you want to get invited back to do it again the next year,
For sure.
you should probably put some effort into it.
Yes, you better step it up. But the cool thing is, so one of my activations is what they call them in the event world. One of the event sub-events that I'm doing out there is called SEMA Central, and I have basically a couple of chairs, and we're in the middle of the deal, and it's doing 10 or 15 minute interviews with all kinds of people from the auto industry. And
that's cool.
There's going to be a couple of interesting sports personalities, I think, this year. I'll let you know.
Nice.
Cool. But my lovely wife Kelly is actually on that team this year, so she's floor directing the whole SEMA Central thing. So
really,
yeah.
So she's like going to grab people to interview.
Well, not
or how? Or
so the floor director is she's in charge of the camera crews and the audio guys.
Oh, wow.
And me, and then the assistant that gets everybody mic'd up. So she's the one that's going to be doing, okay, roll the intro, 3, 2, 1, go, kind of thing. And,
wow.
And, the wrap it up signals and all that kind of jazz, and then managing the schedule of who's up next and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, no, it's cool.
That's cool.
So, again, I get to work for my wife.
Again?
Yeah, that's what happens
yet
here.
Again, right?
But it's great because you know how it's like working with Tammy. She knows this deal already.
You're locked in, and you're on the same wavelength, and it's like you hardly even have to talk about it. It's just like what I need to do next. And
absolutely,
let's go. Like
And like
you set yourself up, set each other up for success.
Totally.
Yeah.
And in the past, working with other directors and producers doing this kind of stuff. You got to learn their language, and you got to learn their timing, and you got to learn their visual cues and all the rest. Well, right now, Kelly and I could do this in the dark, and we would be just perfect sync. So it's gonna be a much better event, for them, and it'll be more fun for us. And she's kind of stressed out about it because she hasn't stepped into that specific role,
end of it,
in this event. But it was great. The event producer, who I technically work for, called me, and he said, we're moving some people around, so we need somebody to direct this thing. And I said, okay. He goes, we need somebody that is very smart, who doesn't take any crap, who knows everybody in the industry, and who can manage you. And I said, okay. He goes, we already hired your wife. I'm like, all right.
Beautiful.
Good move.
Did you hear that? The Pumpkinfesters are restless.
Yes. Well, get a Greek one over there throwing stuff against the wall or something.
No, that's awesome. That's a great story.
Yeah. So
we already hired your wife.
Now, I know we're about to wrap up this episode, and we got to get to the German word of the day. But I had messaged you guys the other day, and we don't have to get too far into it, but I had said I actually got choked up a little bit at your new van purchase story.
We got to hear about the van a little bit.
Yeah.
Yes.
How many messages have you gotten about the van? Just
the van is booked from now until like the end of next year.
The van is booked. That's so
Another
funny.
one happened last night, as a matter of fact.
Really? That's great.
So I'll tell you what we should probably do. Tune in next time.
Okay.
For the van story?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Because I don't want to leave too much out. But
if you want some context, first go listen to
just listen
the
to
V8.
It's all there.
The V8 radio podcast.
Yes. And check out, it's the latest episode, right? Or the second to last?
It's current.
One of the last two, yeah.
And then tune into this next episode. We will get into Kevin's
more
story.
Of it. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's awesome. Good. So, how was I wrong this week, Chris?
You actually were starting to go down the right path, and then you said something silly. So the German word of the day was Richter, Richter, like Richter.
It's something that does something.
Yeah, so you were starting to say someone who does something. Jared said, what, a cloud or something?
A rail drink.
A rail drink, yeah.
A cloud? It's nice.
I can see how much you...
a rail drink. That's very, very close, Jared. And Kevin said someone who picks the fuzz
out of the lint trap of a dryer.
Maintenance guy. Yeah. Yep. But Richter actually means judge. So someone who does something like judges something. So you were starting. I was
Judge.
because
All
you're
right.
like I know it's someone who does something.
So you're saying I won?
No,
You were closer
No.
than I was. It is
But
not
you were headed
a
down
real drink.
a kind of a right path, which doesn't always happen.
Well, I'll tell you what. I may have gotten there at some point, but I heard the little voice, which actually was my wife, in the back of my head saying, "Would you just get to it?
Yeah.
Would you get to the answer?" Because on
Say that.
on our V8 radio podcast, we do a trivia question, and sometimes those they take conversation to evolve and develop an
They
answer.
do, but they're interesting. I feel like it's interesting. And,
well, she's
I mean,
like, "Just say the answer."
So Tammy says the same thing about the German word of the day.
There you go.
Just get on with it. And okay, I understand, but I mean, it is kind of that's the fun of it. It's the banter. It's we're gonna think this out loud.
This is how you end up in the dryer.
Cue ball's gonna type every single word you say and read it back at the end, make you sound like an idiot.
Court reporter, yeah.
Right.
So deal with it, Tammy.
Yes. It's here to stay.
There you go.
All right.
Well, that was interesting for a word of the day, for sure.
Yes.
The Richter. Awesome. Well, listen, thanks for sharing the time again, guys. This was fun.
Yeah. blast,
Glad to hear
as always.
Stubbornfest was such a success. And, of course, there's all kinds of pictures and stuff on social media. If you missed it, you can go check all that out.
All over.
And you got another event coming up soon, right?
Do we?
Well,
Another one?
Coming up, not like
How
tomorrow,
many?
but Black Beer Friday.
Black Beer Friday
Yes.
would be the next one, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
so-
we're hoping to like take a breath before we think about that, but
Well, you
I
got over a
guess
month
since
on that one
you
today,
asked,
so yeah, you'll be fine there.
yeah. We've been brewing beer for it already, so we're getting there. And good luck to you at SEMA and all
Yeah.
the other
Appreciate that.
fun stuff you got going this month.
And then, of course, head out to Willie's West End.
Yep.
Please do, yeah. It'd be
To
fun.
go hear Far Out.
Couple weeks, yep. Well, I don't know when you'll hear this episode, but
Well,
it's
what's
on
the date? Do you know the
October
date?
22nd,
Okay.
Saturday afternoon.
There you
If
go.
we're not busy, I will be there.
Cool. If you're listening to this 5 years in the future,
right.
go anyway.
Just walk into Willie's.
go to Willie's.
We might
Yeah.
be playing. I don't know.
You never know. Might be
All
the
right.
house band by then.
Make sure if you sat this far and you want to hear more, hit the subscribe button because you'll get a new episode alerted somehow. However you have your alerts set, it'll happen, of the Stubborn German podcast. So as we close this episode here at the mighty day of Pumpkinfest, we say, Prost.
We are recording.
All right.
Already?
Bam.
So soon?
Not even ready?
Just like you said.
I did say I'm ready.
Yeah.